Cover Killer Nation, just like you don't know what I'm ever going to review, you don't know what I'm ever going to wear. Dug up my old Pens jersey. Fucking sweet. We're here to review some black metal today, so this garb is actually not very appropriate, but hey, who cares? We're going to be reviewing a band where very little is known about them. If you try to research them, it becomes quite a trial, quite a test, and, well, kind of a fun little journey. The band is Eschaton, and we're going to be talking about their album here in 2012 entitled Isolated Intelligence. Now, this was something that was a fan recommendation, which they had definitely convinced me very well to check this album out and to kind of see, and hear what this band was all about. And what I was able to conjure up from this experience was that this is a band that is able to blend some of the best elements of the black and death metal genre, principally focusing in on the black metal genre, while also honing in a little bit of progression. Now, the progression is very, very seldom seen. It's not going to be something where you're going to have lush and exquisite melody, where there's going to be, a ton of different instruments going on at once, and this is not something where you're going to be seeing a prominent virtuosity from any member of this band. Instead, it's just the way in which everything is able to progress throughout the tracks, and just the way in which these songs are structured and constructed. So there's a lot of positives that can already be said given the variety. Now, this is something that I like to aim more towards the black metal side whenever describing this band, mainly because it gives me more of that hint, more of that glimmet. And it really is kind of a nice thing. This is an album that's only 5 tracks in length. However, like most black metal, you're going to have mammoth songs. You're going to have songs that are going to typically average around the 8-minute mark throughout this 5-track album, except for track number 4, that's going to eclipse the 15-minute mark and be completely instrumental, which is an interesting take. You can essentially say that half of side B, if this were to happen to be a cassette tape or a vinyl record, would be spent on a 15-minute long black metal instrumental, and it's actually kind of a cool little idea, mainly because whenever you think of black metal, you don't necessarily think of instrumentals unless they're some doused with a lot of ambience, or if it is got a lot of atmosphere and a lot of effect in them. This is not the case. This is in fact one that is driven completely by the instrumentalization, and it just has a very hypnotic flow to it, and it has a very I guess a very dark element to it, which is basically translates into 15 minutes of aural bliss or aural darkness, however you really want to describe your elevated mood, thanks to a black metal track. Now, whenever you examine the other 4 tracks, there's not much that can, really separate these guys from a lot of other bands out there in the black metal field, except for the fact that it's something that is constructed with a little bit more of a care to it. This is something that has a production value that is above, screaming into a coffin while the coffin is being encased in, amber, or being encased in a basement. This is not quite to the point where you're hearing with some modern black metal bands that have big industry backing, where the production is very crisp and everything is very sonically receptive, not to mention also sonically available, where you hear pretty much every tin tone that is made by the instruments. It's kind of a happy medium, almost like it's one half of a DIY approach, and 2 parts really just a very, very good production job by the person who opted to handle that duty for this album. So overall, the personnel certainly did their jobs in creating an album that definitely is sonically appetizing for your ears. It's not something where there's any sort of struggle to get through this album, nor is there anything that can really cause you to be very annoyed or cause you to want to stop listening to this record. Everything is just kind of in that happy little medium, so that's something that already, speaking about this record, has me kind of glowing about it. As far as the material itself is concerned, there's definitely a lot of strength in the lyric work. There's a lot of different philosophical lyrics that are incorporated in this album, and there's definitely enough of a variety on this record where it's not going to seem bogged by simplicity. We're not talking about that Pilgrim record, where it's a doom metal band that basically out-doomed themselves, and which led to their doom. This is actually an album that Pilgrim could maybe take take a couple of ideas from in incorporating structure for their next record, because this is an album that is able to incorporate the best of simplicity, but at the same time make it interesting. Mainly because it's doing so in a style where simplicity definitely is kind of prominent. However, at the same time, they're able to vary up the pacing, they're able to vary up the intensity enough on this album where it still maintains your attention. It's not something where you have to wait seemingly an endless period of time in order to hear that happen. It's something that feels like it is sonically developing as you're listening in. This is a strong record. This is a band that I'm getting very interested in, and I'm very much looking forward to their future work and kind of seeing how they're able to incorporate their sound further and perhaps build on some of the ideas that Isolated Intelligence has really been able to lay the groundwork for. I really kind of enjoyed the 15-minute long instrumental idea. I think that's kind of a bold move on their part, and some people in the black metal community may not like this. Others may just eat this up. If you're a stoner and you like black metal, then this is like heaven or hell for you, all depending on how good your shit is, I guess. I don't know. And this is just an album where I feel that the lyric penner, the lyric author, is really just really speaking his mind, as opposed to just trying to out-evil everybody else in the community. This is definitely one where that is not necessarily the principal focus, and that is something that is also a very, very strong positive. Overall, I would actually give this album very good numbers. I'd give it a 7.75 to a light 8 out of 10. And the main reason why is because I feel that while this is a bold experiment, a 15-minute long instrumental track that's backed along with these four very strong lyrical tracks, I'm wondering if the opinion of it's going to be a little bit polarized due to the concept, or if instead it's going to be one that's widely accepted and perhaps turned to in the future by other bands. That's not the main reason why I'm giving it kind of a lower score, and it's mainly also because I feel that even though they did do a lot on this record to keep me engaged and keep me interested, I saw little glimmers where they could probably still do more. There's still a lot more that they could do, and I think that they understand this idea, and it's something that they're going to incorporate into their future sound. I'm excited about this band. Are you guys excited about this band? If you guys aren't, or if you guys haven't heard them yet, definitely check them out. This is definitely a band to check out. It's definitely a review also where I say the word definitely a lot, which is definitely a problem. www.thesaurus.com, coverkillernation. Anyhow, this is one that I highly recommend. It's something that you should explore, and it's worth the find, and it's worth the journey.